they used to call the Premier League the most competitive league in the world. They used to say that anyone anyone can beat anybody in the Premier League. I am reminded of the results like Burnley beating Liverpool 2-0 at Turf Moor with just 19 or maybe 20% possession. I am also reminded of a time when Manchester United lost to Wolves, who were relegated at the bottom of the table. They lost 1-0 at Molineux, and that was the Manchester United team that used to win leagues, regularly compete in the Champions League. But these days, it's not the Manchester United that we all, started following earlier. Manchester United, who used to romp at rivals' training ground and beat them aside with ease. It was only in the latter part of the Champions League that they used to, somewhat find it difficult. But these days, they are not the same. The Premier League had teams like Chelsea under Roman Abramovich in the 2003 in the year 2003, when they could just go and buy players at just a whim. Manchester City did the same in 2008 and beyond, where they just went there and signed players left, right, and center without a care in the world. I mean, they are involved or embroiled in a in a case with the Premier League where there were initially 115 charges, but reportedly in some quarters those charges were increased to 130. But yeah, I mean, but PSR, profit and sustainability rules, these have come in. These rules, APT, associated party transactions, they have come in and just completely smothered the teams that are trying to make a headway and trying to make an impression, trying to make a splash in the Premier League and Europe and beyond. But somehow PSR, financial fair play, is just strangling them. I mean, look at Manchester United. For 2 seasons, they haven't won the league. Let's put it out there for close to, I mean, for 13 years. This season, it looks highly unlikely that they will win it. They haven't been in the Champions League for a couple of seasons. They've struggled in the league. They finished 15th last season. They in fact won only 3 games from December till May. They only beat Leicester and one more team that was already relegated, and of course Aston Villa. As a Newcastle fan, I'm thankful that they did, because that helped us qualify for the Champions League. Now, Manchester United, if you can look at the table besides me, sit on the fifth rank or in the fifth position. They are spending money left, right, and center. Yes, I can give you the fact that they are money making monster. They bring in huge amounts of revenue. But why are teams like Newcastle United, my team, Aston Villa, and Nottingham Forest under Evangelos Marinakis are being stopped from making money? In fact, Everton, if you talk about Everton, they under their former owner Farhad Mushidi went, I mean, in a troubled area in terms of finances. They were hit with the points deductions twice in one season. Thankfully for them, they were able to see off those point deductions and stay in the league. But they are still, now they are under different ownership and are reportedly looking to sell their women's teams to themselves to avoid the danger that FFP presents. So my point is that these 4 teams, I mean, Newcastle, Aston Villa, and Nottingham Forest in particular, and as well as Everton to a lesser degree, they are being stopped intentionally, or maybe, or probably unintentionally, and because to grow them in the league, to help them in qualifying for their owners, or our owners just simply can't spend money willy nilly. When Chelsea and Manchester City could do it, Liverpool are doing it now. Tottenham, I know Tottenham make a hell lot of money. Arsenal as well. So when Chelsea and Manchester City could do it without care in the world, why are people like Newcastle United, Aston Villa, and Nottingham Forest, maybe to a slightly lesser extent, being strangled in their position? This PSR, I mean, they are trying to say that they are trying to help the clubs from them going under. But I just don't see it. How is it like helping your brand? Is it like you only want 6 teams to compete for European football. I know it's highly unlikely that Tottenham will, will win the league in the next 10, 12 season. I mean, it is going to take a Leicester City. And talking of Leicester City, do you remember that article which said that a lot of clubs, top clubs, I don't know their names. They said they don't want too many Leicester cities. Now, Leicester City, one of the most, you know, biggest one of the biggest stories in the Premier League when they won the league title in 2016, when they were almost relegated in the previous season. They came out under Claudio Ranieri and just were a breath of fresh air. Well, my team were relegated that season, so that wasn't particularly good. We lost to Leicester City both home and away, 3-0 and 1-0 respectively. So yeah, and as you can see, besides me, we Newcastle United, Aston Villa are struggling. And as things stand, this is just as things stands as of today. Today is 7th August. Happens to be my birthday, but more on that sometime. If you look at Newcastle United, we are 13th. Nottingham Forest are 12th, and Aston Villa are down there at 18th. I mean, some of it I know is our own doing. We haven't spent the money. We have been rejected by a lot of players as well. And Manchester United are there in fifth position. And imagine, as I talk to you, Benjamin Sesko is about to come in at Manchester United. So that spend will go over 200 million. Now, this is a team that hasn't done anything spectacular or anything remotely decent in the last 4 or 5 years. Yes, they've won a Carabao Cup, an FA Cup as well, but it's it's I feel as a fan it's strangulating. As a Newcastle fan of over 24 years, I've seen my team getting relegated, and we have the richest owners in the world, or people whose wealth is just off the charts, and we just can't spend money when we have seen similar pattern or similar path being taken by by clubs like Chelsea and Manchester City. So why are we being stopped under the guise of that they are trying to protect the club? And I mean, I have to say that the Premier League I fell in love with, where teams could go out and spend money. I know Leeds, Portsmouth, what happened to them, but these are remarkable owners and responsible as well. So I mean, I somehow grasp. I mean, I am losing interest. There's a PSR, there's a UEFA PSR. 3 or 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, six teams went to make a UEFA, a Super League. That didn't come off. Ever since that particular squad has been hanging over everyone's head. It seems that there is a Super League in the Premier League itself, and I mean, why shouldn't it be like open for all? Spend whatever you can. I mean, these are responsible people who have earned money, working hard, and if they want to spend money, let them spend it. Who I mean, like, seriously, it's I mean, there's a joy that's being taken out of football for me, and it's the VAR is one thing which is sucking the joy out of football. Now we have this list. If you look at it, it's uh, it's so demotivating, to be a fan of a club like Newcastle United, who after 70 years won a trophy, but now are not being able to do anything. Aston Villa, they beat Bayern Munich last season. They drew with Juventus. They beat PSG at Villa Park and can't do anything. Nottingham Forest, they have one way or the other have qualified for the Europa League as things stand. Who knows what might come of it? Crystal Palace, they won a trophy. Now they are languishing at the bottom. They haven't spent anything. In fact, I think they've only bought Borna Sosa from Ajax, and a couple of free signings. In fact, their better players, Mark Gahey, Ebreze Eze, and John Felipe Mateta, have all been linked with the moves away. How credible? I don't know. Gahey, certainly, I would give it more of credence. Eze, I don't know. Philip Mateta, I don't know either. So, I mean, coming back to the original point, I think the Premier League that I fell in love with all those years ago, where anyone could beat anybody, it's no more. It's a closed shop. This is just my personal opinion. PSR has just slammed the door in the faces of aspiring clubs. It's not working, and I mean, I mean, if you support clubs like Manchester United, Liverpool, good on you, but not me, not millions of others as well. And if you follow Premier League will always get eyeballs, but for me, it's not the same. It's less enjoyable. Uh, I don't know what to say. It's the joy is being just sucked out, and it's suffocating as a fan of basketball. That's it.